The Young Republican text message scandal just took a new and dramatic turn as the fallout to the racist, anti-Semitic, and homophobic banter continues. And fair warning, dear viewers, this story might leave you with a beautiful smile on your face. What a great way to start the weekend. I'm David Reddish. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. If you watched our show this week, and if not, subscribe for goodness sakes. If you've been following the news, you know that earlier this week, the online magazine Politico ran a story involving thousands of leaked text messages from a group chat involving the leadership of the Young Republicans. And don't let the name fool you. These aren't high schoolers. These are people in their 30s, some in their 40s. A Vermont state senator and Trump administration officials were also involved. Here, let's get up to speed.
This morning, new fallout after the leak of racist text messages linked to members of young Republican groups across the country. The website Politico says it obtained 7 months' worth of messages from a group chat in which racist and anti-Semitic slurs were used more than 250 times.
It's awful, it's revolting, it's disgusting, it's obnoxious.
Politico says Peter Junta, who was the chair of the New York State Young Republicans, allegedly wrote in a text message, "Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber." In another exchange, Junta reportedly responded, "Great. I love Hitler," during a discussion about backing a right-wing candidate. Some Republicans have denounced the language, while Vice President J.D. Vance dismissed the messages as edgy, offensive jokes.
We're not canceling kids because they do something stupid in a group chat.
But reports say at least 8 of the 11 participants in the group chat are between 24 and 34 years old and include a state senator from Vermont and a federal official. Some participants apologizing, while others claim the messages were taken out of context or doctored. California Governor Gavin Newsom is demanding a congressional investigation, but Vice President J.D. Vance says some Democrats have said worse and says there should not be a rush to judgment.
And if you feel slimy watching a bunch of young, and let's face it, repulsive Republicans talk about how much they love Hitler, stick around. Like I say, you're going to feel happy and cleaner after this one. In addition to Vice President and couch enthusiast J.D. Vance rushing, rather stupidly like everything he does, to defend the young Republicans, House Speaker and pass-around Republican party bottom Mike Tiny Johnson also came to the defense of Nazism. Seriously.
Look, obviously, we roundly condemn any of that nonsense. And the Young Republican or the organization, whoever that, I don't know who any of these people are. I never heard of them. Somebody posted a photo of me standing next to these guys. We're in tuxedos. Obviously, I think it was at the inauguration, and people were just coming up and asking for selfies with 1,000 of them. I don't know. I've never heard of that person in my life. We have stood against that. We fought the Nazis. We defended that evil ideology. We roundly condemn it, and anybody in any party who espouses it, we're opposing that.
For more on that speech and, we hope, ridiculous gaffe, see our other videos here on the channel. Meanwhile, the outrage over these Nazi sympathizers continues, as it should. As we already mentioned, several of those included in the chat have lost their jobs, and the governor of Vermont is calling on Vermont State Senator Samuel Douglas to resign over his remarks. And now, the scandal has taken an even bigger twist. This morning, multiple outlets, including the New York Times and CBS, announced that the head of the New York Young Republicans is dissolving the group altogether. Take a look.
It's not the end of the New York State Young Republicans, and according to the New York Times, it's more of a new start. The group's chair, Bobby Walker, was one of the several caught up in the scandal. He apologized but did not answer calls for his resignation. Walker took over as chair just about 2 months ago, but that could all change today. The New York State Times reports that Republican leaders will eliminate the group's charter, allowing them to reconstitute it and find new leadership. This follows a similar move by Republican leaders in Kansas. As of this morning, the New York State Young Republicans website and social media pages are no longer available. Here's what a Politico reporter had to say about their story earlier this week.
We really looked into this and wanted to see, why are they speaking like that to each other? And does this have anything to do with kind of the way that the norms of our political discourse have been changing, some would say, since President Trump came to power?
The The response to Politico's reporting was swift, with Democrats and Republicans alike rebuking the content of the chat, though North Country Congresswoman Elise Stefanik later categorized it as a hit piece, while Vice President J.D. Vance excused it as edgy jokes among young people. The chat involved people in their 20s and 30s. Some members have lost jobs in state government positions or with political campaigns since the report.
So, the New York Republican Party is trying a little denazification. That's a relief, though, if you ask me, restarting the chapter so soon isn't wise. Also, it would help if these bigoted trolls were banned from the organization for life. To quote The Empire Strikes Back, we don't need their scum. But here's my question. With wannabe fascist Donald Trump in the White House and Spectrum Nazi Stephen Miller playing such a large role in his administration, did these young Republicans think Miller and Trump would rush to their defense? Given Trump's normalization of white supremacy, racism, anti-Semitism, fascism, and violence, it's obvious that the worst impulses in the young Republicans flooded to the surface. Trump made it all okay. So did they think Trump would try to defend them? At the time of this report, I have yet to see Trump comment on the mess. That could be because of his declining health. Again, see our other videos. But if you ask me, Trump is wise to stay out of this one, lest he face questions about his own views and effect on the Republican Party. At the same time, this stain on the Republicans is only raising new questions, and with the impending No Kings rallies this weekend, Americans have even more reason to stand up and fight back against this crypto-Nazi regime. You want to rid this country of hate? Start with Donald Trump and the Republican Party. I'm David Reddish.